Welcome to Bitching and Moaning, the podcast where we talk shit, spill the tea, and say all the things you're definitely thinking about but shouldn't say out loud.
We're your hosts. I'm Stephanie with Patricia, and together we're your weekly dose of sass, laughs, and just the right amount of bad decisions.
From sexy stories to petty rants, nothing's off limits. So grab your wine or your drink of choice, loosen your morals, and let's get into it.
Because if we're not bitching,
we're probably moaning. Welcome to Bitching and Moaning. We are excited that you're here. I'm Patricia.
I'm Stephanie.
And we have some vino to talk about and some other things. It's the holiday season, and we thought that we would chit-chat about what comes with that. But first, let's talk about our wine.
So you go first this time.
I got my favorite Messina Hoff, and this time I went non-alcoholic. So it is a sparkling grape wine or grape juice or whatever it is, but it's got a little carbonation to it, and it's just light and fluffy. But I know they always seem to make things, yummy for whatever reason. But I went non-alcoholic because it was just a feeling. Some of you may not agree, or some may agree, but I got my flu and my COVID shot today because it's that time of the season, and we are going to be around a lot of family members. Some of them that are older as well. So we just do it. My husband and I do it every year, and so I don't know. I think just maybe the alcohol. I didn't really want to mix it with all that right now because I got to do Thanksgiving soon. So, but anyways, that's what I got.
Well, and I think too, just on that, with the shot thing, it's like you mentioned older people. It's like in my family, it's like my husband's parents are older.
Right.
And there was at one point where we wanted them, they wanted us to make sure we had
right,
it. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's, to me, a COVID shot's like a flu shot now,
It
right?
really is. I mean, they did it in 2 seconds, and I don't feel bad. I'm not dying. I'm not sick. It's just we do it for precautionary things because we do have some traveling coming up as well, and we just want to make sure we're not sick. Yeah.
So, well, good for you.
Thank you.
I need to do mine. I've never done the flu shot. I know I'm going off a little tangent, but I haven't done a flu shot because I haven't had the flu since 1991, and now I'm afraid if I do the flu shot, now I'm going to get the flu. So it's like a mental weird thing. But the COVID one, because it's still a little that disease or whatever it is, the virus,
right.
It's still a little unpredictable. So you just never know.
You still don't know. I mean, and I think some of it is like the flu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and we're usually around a lot of people, and we're going to be traveling, so I just want to make sure that we are good. But it never has given me the flu. Like the flu shot, it's never...
I think it's a mental thing at this point. It's like, okay, the minute I get one, I'm going to have the flu. I'm going to be down for a week or something. So anyway.
Yeah.
So sorry, digress. Have squirrel, we have the squirrel moments or whatever. So I have, it's cupcake. I have the peach Moscato. So it's got hints of course, peach, apricot, I think nectarine. And then they said with an aroma, a little bit of a wildflower aroma.
Ooh.
So I went with that today.
All right. Cheers to our... little holiday one.
I just noticed I always go bink when I touch the glass.
Alrighty.
Here we go.
So, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk a little bit. Black Friday's coming up. I know by the time we post this, it will already be done. But there's a lot to bitch about with Black Friday. It's just insane. It's gotten to the point where I just don't go anymore because there's nothing I need that bad or that I can't order online.
Right.
There's so much you can order online nowadays. Or back in the day, it was like you waited outside of Walmart or the mall, from midnight the night before just to get in and get whatever thing was trending, especially with kids. There's always something that is the newest, hottest thing. Yeah. So for me, Black Friday, I just don't do it. Yeah. I remember the last time I actually tried to buy something. It was not even anything I needed. It was a pair of jeans. I don't know why. I forgot it was Black Friday or something anyway. So I went into Kohl's and I walk in and I'm getting my jeans. And then when I walked over there, it was like 3 rows deep. And I'm like, what am I doing here? And I went in and stayed. I'm like, I'm already here. But it's just ridiculous. And the craziness. People just have attitudes and they're mean and just fighting over things. So yeah, no, count me out on the Black Friday. I just won't do it anymore.
So it was, it's been a tradition for me and my girls to go. Even my son too, he would go to, but mostly my girls, because again, you know, I've been divorced for quite some time from their dad, so we celebrate Thanksgiving Day, and then they would go to their dad's the next day. Same with Christmas, we celebrated Christmas Eve, and then they would go to their dad's Christmas Day. So it's always been like that. So I would try to get them to do the Black Friday stuff, you know, and they loved it. We had so much fun because we were together and we were buying stupid stuff and Victoria's Secret everything, you know, because I love that store, and they had a good time with it. We'd have a little lunch and then they'd go to their dad's, but we really haven't done it much in the last few years. One, because now they're older and they're living their lives. Also because there was a time there, again, being a single mom, I was working 2 or 3 jobs, and I worked in retail besides my career. I was working retail for part-time, and you know, we both did that. And so I would actually be at the store, and my oldest was working retail as well, and so we would be at the stores at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning dealing with the customers, you know. And I was okay because I understood the other side of it. Like when you're there, you're really excited, you want the fun deals and the fun giveaways and stuff like that. So I understood that, and you always just want people to have a good experience when you're working, even though, you know, you've been there since the crack of dawn. But we really haven't done it in a while. I just, like you said, we can order stuff online, and now it just seems like, well, for a while there, do you remember they were doing the Black Friday deals like on Thanksgiving night, and people were starting to get mad because like it was taking away from family time. And then now it seems like they kind of do pre-Black Friday deals, which are the same Black Friday deal, you know. And it's like, well, if you're gonna do it this week, then I'll just buy it online.
I know, it's like a whole week thing now. It's not even like, you know, the getting up early or waiting, trying to get whatever. It's like it keeps getting pushed back further and further and further, and I'm like, okay, well, just keep the sale all year round, and I'll buy it in June and then save it for Christmas or something. But yeah, it just seems like the madness just gets worse every year.
And you're right. Like there's nothing like I desperately need right now, you know. If I needed a laptop or if I needed a television, you know, those are kind of things. But all that stuff is pretty reasonably priced now. You know, it used to be really expensive for all those electronic things, and so now you can just go to the store and buy a freaking 80-inch TV for $500, you know, and before that was like the sale, you know.
It's like Walmart. If you look at their TVs now, their big flat screens, you'll see some like for $280, and it's like you say 80 inches, and it's like I don't have anywhere to put 80 inches, but it's like, why not buy it during the year if they're just going to have it that all the time? And I don't have to have the top of the line TV. I just need something that I can see now when I'm not wearing my glasses, right? You know. So there's some things that are just more reasonable. You can buy all throughout the year, whereas you used to have to wait. Electronics was a big thing. You know, one of the big things where you wait in line forever to get that TV.
Exactly. I think Amazon coming on board with everything under the sun. Like you can buy your groceries, you can buy tools, you can just buy anything on Amazon. It's so crazy. And you know, my Amazon bill is a little high right now. So we gotta start selling that merch, guys. Start selling that merch. I can pay my Amazon bill. But I do. It's just so convenient. Click a button, and then they give you discounts, and it's like, oh my gosh. And so the only like those are the pros. It's easy, it's fast, it's convenient. It comes to your, I mean, we have an Amazon warehouse 5 minutes away, so we get stuff like within hours. It's so crazy. But some things are like the clothing. Like I'm shaped differently, and you know, sometimes the tops don't always match the bottoms, you know, and or they're tiny, you know, they're just really small. So I kind of like to still try on some stuff and see if it works. But I know that you can like return anything pretty easily. But when you buy like Shein stuff,
Yeah.
I love Shein. Don't get me wrong, I love Shein.
I totally get what you're saying because I want to try on clothes because I hate to return things. I don't want to have to go back to the UPS store or the post office or FedEx or, you know, wherever it is to return it. Ugh, it's exhausting. I'll moan about that, you know. But yeah, it's just a hassle when you have to return it. It's like I could walk into a store, get 3 different sizes, and then pick out the one, and then I have it, and I'm done, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I totally agree with you. Clothes is a little bit different. And this funny story, so, you know, you the same thing.
Yeah.
So, oh, God. So I ordered something off of Temu, and I know, you know, come at me if you don't like Temu. I know all the stories or whatever, but man, some of their stuff is just cheap, you know. And now things are expensive, so I'm looking for as cheap as
Child
possible.
slave labor in Cambodia somewhere. Don't come for us,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean,
you don't know where your stuff is coming
right?
from.
You know, there's all kinds of stuff happening, right? So I ordered something off of there and came in and liked it. So then you start getting all these text messages. Oh, you got this credit or blah, blah, blah. And then one of the things I ordered, they couldn't ship it for whatever reason. No, well, now here's your refund. Well, here's some more coupons. So I made the mistake. It said you get $100 free credit, right?
Oh, gosh.
Well, of course I didn't read. So here I am stacking my little card. And so and I'm like, okay, I'm at the $100. I went, buy now. And it charged my card. And I was like, of course I didn't read the fine print. That $100 was going to come on like the next purchase. So I'm like, oh shit. Now I got all this stuff. And of course it's
tricky. They're tricky.
Yeah, it was very tricky. So you got to read all the disclaimers with some of that stuff too. So I got bitten ass with that pretty hard.
For sure.
But I'm still going to wear it and think it's cute because it's all Christmas related. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just happened this week. I just wasn't paying attention. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why...
Yeah.
Did it charge my card? And sure enough, I went in there and it's like, oh.
I do. I bought a few things off of the TikTok shop. I you know, kind of like that. I don't buy really big things or expensive things, just little gadgets or whatever. And Temu, I've only bought one thing off of that because I've just heard some weird stories and I get really nervous. But I did buy this really cool like summer dress, and it was just like all colorful, flowery. I'll put up a picture of y'all. But it was perfect. It was beautiful. It was so cool. I was like, all right, isn't too bad, you know, because you just never know. But
you never know with that kind of stuff. It's hit and miss. One of the things I purchased, it said the description was wrong. It said it was like it was a sweater and it had like frayed ends on it. It looked kind of patchwork and it had a pumpkin on it, so it had like your olive. Funny. I know I love my pumpkin stuff. I love everything fall. And so it had like,
I don't mean to argue, but did you see that video, Peggy Pumpkin?
Oh yeah, she's doing the exercise stuff. Yes, it's so funny. We'll have to put a link or something to that because it's hilarious. So I bought it. It was supposed to be this sweater and it was really cute. It was like patchwork and the olive and the gold and the orange with this pumpkin. It was so cute. When it came in, it was this god-awful sweatshirt that had a 3D picture of it. And I'm like, oh, that is not what I ordered. So, of course, I sent it back, and then I went, and there were some that was the sweater, but this one had the picture of the sweater, but it said 3D image. So it's like, okay, y'all tricked me. There was like 85 of those, and I just happened to pick the one. And I was like, is not what I ordered. So of course it went back. I made the trip. I'm getting my money back on that. So I was a little disappointed. So, but whatever, you know, I find that stuff everywhere. But I do have some things we're talking about Black Friday, crazed things back in the day.
Yeah, let's hear it.
That people used to do, and you're going to remember these.
Boy.
Again, y'all tell us what is current today or what the fads are, because our kids are all grown, and I have no idea what is the most popular toy or whatever. But Cabbage Patch Kids back in like 1983. Yeah, so I pulled these up off the internet, and they were saying that there was a Pennsylvania woman who suffered a broken leg.
Oh, jeez.
When a 1,000-person crowd turned into a violent department store mob.
Yeah.
And there was a store manager said he armed himself with a baseball bat.
Oh, my gosh.
To like defend himself because people were just attacking
I do
one
remember
another.
those crazy things.
And they say even today people are trying to figure out why that was such a big thing. But they think maybe because of the adoption certificates, it tied you into, I guess, the doll, because it was like, okay, well, I'm adopting it or something.
I got you.
But there's
always crazy fads like that.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was
every
weird.
year there's something
Yep.
different for especially just kids. You know,
Right, and I actually got one of the preemie ones. I still have it in a
Oh, you do?
box. Yeah, so I don't know if it's worth any money.
Put it
but
on eBay,
I
it
had
might be worth
I had a
something.
little attachment. It was bald, and it just had a little boop right at the top that was blonde. I loved that thing back in the day. And it's
Yeah.
sad to say, but in 1983, I was like, 14.
Yeah.
So I was
We
still a
didn't-
kid at heart and had
Yeah.
one. So
I never had one, to be honest with you. My girls did American Dolls. Do you remember
Oh,
those
yes,
American
yeah.
Girls?
Mhm.
Yeah, so they got 2 of those that looked like them,
Mm-hmm.
which was crazy, and then all their clothes and all their stuff. And this is one regret I have. We had a neighbor that I was getting rid of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a little girl, and I gave her, and I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that. That was a bad mistake. But anyways, my kids had all the stuff and
Yeah.
all the little clothes, and we used to go have lunch at the American Girl store,
Yeah, I
here
remember those.
in Dallas, and we went to the one in Chicago
Mm-hmm.
too, and they get to have the little high seats for their dollies, and that was fun. But you didn't really have to, there wasn't any crazy
Right.
thing, because you just go into the store and whatever, and plus they're kind of expensive.
Right.
So yeah.
yeah, do you remember the Bratz dolls?
Yes, my girls did
Yeah.
have those too.
Yeah, I did those with my girls, and they had all kinds of Bratz dolls. It was, they say it was like the alternative to the Barbie doll, and they had
Yeah.
all kinds of hairstyles, and
A little
there were
rebellious.
multiple races too, so it encompassed everybody. And it said from 2001 to 2003, the Bratz dolls raked in over $1 billion just
Wow.
in that time frame.
But I mean, they had a whole conglomerate enterprise. They
Yes.
had the show on TV, and they had the dolls, and they had, it was just crazy. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
so that was a big one. When the Nintendo 2 came out, or PlayStation 2 came out in 2000, March of 2000, it said that it was so popular that people would tackle other people to the
Oh my
ground
God.
just to get the new gaming system. It was
Yeah.
like WWE, people hitting each other, trying to get whatever,
Yeah.
yank it out of people's hands, or if they put it in their basket. Don't do that, because people grabbing the baskets
Oh,
and
yeah.
get them.
No,
It
I
was
do
just
remember
insane.
recently, I'd say probably within the last 5 years, my son was all about the Xbox.
Oh,
the
yeah, that
new
was huge,
when they
too.
first came out, the really new ones,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. There's probably different versions by now, but he wanted one so bad, and we were trying to, they were all out. You were supposed to pre-order them, we didn't,
Mm-hmm.
and then we were calling every place to see. Calling to see if we can get
Yeah.
one, or if one was returned, or they found one in the back. And I'd call one place, he'd call another place, and then we finally found one. And he's like, maybe I should resell it. I'm like, no, just
Yeah.
use it, But
Yeah.
some people did that. They'd buy it for the price, and because it was such a hot commodity, they would
Right.
sell it for more money and make a couple $100,
Yeah. So the Nintendo Wii, do you remember
Oh, we
when
had
that
that.
came out? That
Yes,
was
that
November.
was actually fun.
Yeah, November 2006,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it basically they were perpetually sold out, and Nintendo struggled to match their production because people wanted them so much.
Yeah.
And
Honestly, I think my husband still has his here somewhere. We have a
Mm-hmm.
whole closet full of games,
Mm-hmm.
board games, and all that. And I think there's something I saw, a tennis racket or something.
Oh, yeah.
From that. Yeah. But yeah.
I remember at work they had a Christmas giveaway, a raffle thing, and the Nintendo Wii was one that was up, and this was when I was a single mom, and my kids were 10 and 9 and 6 or something like that. So I was wanting to be the cool mom, and
Yeah.
there's no way I could buy that. So sure enough, I won the
Oh,
Nintendo
that's
Wii,
cool.
and it was the tennis one, and whatever else was with
Yeah.
it. But oh my gosh, they had the best time with that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I was such a cool mom because I got an in thing, kind of, and so yeah, I was pretty
Yeah.
excited about that.
Yeah, my kids got it for Christmas. It was, they just got one for all 3 of them, and we had
Yeah.
a lot of fun with it. The
I
dance
know.
move, the dancer,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah. Let's see. Furbies. Do you remember Furbies?
Yes, with the big eyes.
Yeah, if you don't know what a Furby is, it is part owl, part hamster, part mythical forest creature. It's a weird looking thing. It kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of, and this is way old school, back in the 80s, Gremlins,
Uh-huh. Yep.
and Gizmo.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that. It had the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
eyes, but this said they were so popular that the retail price was bumped from $35 to $100.
Oh, yeah.
And so back then, I mean, that was a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
That might as well have been $1,000 back then, you know.
Especially
so
if you have
Furbies-
more than one kid, you know.
Oh yeah, because they can't share things like that. They
No.
want their own one.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Tickle Me Elmo. Did I
Yep.
talk about that one? Tickle Me
Yep.
Elmo. Yeah, a lot. Basically, that one is where you would tickle it and he'd go, you know, whatever. He would just laugh, and they were funny to like babies. They would just giggle on with him.
Yeah, my kids had that too.
Yeah, they said people would resell those for up to $1,500 back at the time. And
Yeah.
again, 1996, that might as well have been $10,000. But people were paying
Yeah, they were.
all that money for those Beanie Babies in the 90s.
We have
yes,
probably maybe two for sure, maybe three, but two full collections of them in our storage.
Yeah, I like to go into McDonald's and they had them in the little minis and the Happy
Yeah.
Meals. Oh, I love the minis. They were so cute. But that was another one where people would sell them and about 1,000 times greater than what was offered in the stores, and people would pay for them.
Yeah. They still do.
Yeah.
If you go on eBay, they'll still pay for them.
Yeah, speaking of eBay, it's funny you mentioned that, but at one point it says Beanie Babies sales made up 10% of the total sales for eBay at the time. That's a ton of money.
Sure is.
It's crazy.
One of the things that we used to collect, or my oldest did, my sister actually, every Christmas, she would buy her the yearly Barbie, like the fancy Barbie.
Yeah.
So my daughter has a bunch of those too, and I saving them for her because, like, you know, whenever she does decide to have kids, maybe one day, she can pass them on down. But I've looked at how much they are on eBay and stuff, and some of them are, you know, $100, $150, and you pay only like what, 25 or 50. So, hey, it's not a bad little investment.
Yeah. My oldest was in like the Barbies, and so through Avon, they used to have like a Christmas edition Barbie that would come out with
Avon.
the big,
Oh my God!
I know
It's been a minute since I heard that.
Yeah, I used to be a sales representative, or help a lady who was. I would take it to work and pass out, 40. I put it on all their desks, 40 books. They would give me the orders, and this was back in the day where I would have to call her or hand them the receipts to her, and then we'd meet every week and pick them up, and then I would pass them out at work, kind of
the
thing.
Avon lady.
I know.
Stephanie, the
I
Avon
loved
lady.
Avon. My kids got a ton of stuff for Christmas. through
Avon, Tupperware.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Something way. Amway.
Yeah. Now it's Stanley. Stanley has a lot of stuff like the tumblers and things like that.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
But Stanley's been around for a long time if you didn't even know that. My grandmother was a sales rep back in the probably late 50s, early 60s, up until like in the 80s when she couldn't do it anymore. And she was a pretty good rep from what I understood.
Wow.
But yeah, she saved all her stuff. We got some really interesting perfume and makeup that was way past the expiration date.
Probably.
But she was like, somebody could use it.
What
God
about
love my grandma.
Mary Kay?
Mary Kay.
I actually love Mary Kay. I really do. I think they have good products. But
So, okay.
the other one, let me tell you another one.
Okay.
We have the set of the NSYNC dolls.
Oh my God! How amazing is that, girl? Why are we doing this? We could make a gazillion dollars off of selling those.
We have all the NSYNC dolls.
Wow!
Again, because they were gifts to my kids, and that's their little, 401ks. but yeah. So that, and we have some. We also do like a lot of concerts, so we have concert shirts, which I've gone to I know I'm kind of tracking off, but I've gone to vintage stores. Just to kind of see what's out there, and shirts that you pay $25-$30 for,
right?
They're selling them for $225 at these vintage stores. I'm like, oh my God, then I have a freaking fortune.
Yeah.
I could probably give up working and live off my concert t-shirts.
I know. We went, I don't know how my daughter got it. You took us to the One Direction concert, right? So we have one of those shirts, and it is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They're not around.
Yeah.
And then
Emily has a bunch of them too.
Passed away. Was it not?
Liam.
Yeah. So it's like there is no reunion. So it's like you hang on to that stuff. It's that brings back such good memories. And I remember Kristen was so happy to go to that concert. She loved it. It was so much fun. So I have one more in the. It's called Sky Dancers. Do you remember those? It was like
With
a fairy.
Butterfly or
Yeah, it was
they
a fairy,
flew or
and
something?
you would shoot it up in the air and it'd go flying around.
Oh my
right?
gosh, I forgot about
So
those.
that was in 1995. So
Wow.
of course, Mom's looking at every toy store for that. But they said it was short-lived because, and this is sad in a way. It says after several years, it was recalled because after 150 complaints had been filed, they were alleging that the dancer had injured their children. I guess when it would come back down and I'd bonk them in the head or something. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, never. They didn't think about that when they made it. That it's it's a deadly weapon when it comes back down or something.
That's funny.
But yeah, I remember that when I was looking up everything. I was like, oh, I do remember those, but I didn't get any for my girls, but I remember that was a huge
I do
thing.
remember
a lot
those.
of fairy stuff was really big back then.
What was the other one? They were like Polly Pockets.
Oh, Polly Pockets,
Polly
yes.
Pockets is what my girls loved.
We had those
loved.
too.
Oh my gosh, they were all over the place too. You had to have like bins for all their little tiny, outfits and whatever else.
Yeah, there was a pet one. It was the little, kind of like what you just mentioned, but they were little pets. The Littlest Pet Shop.
Oh,
Do you remember
okay. Yeah, I
that?
don't
The
remember
girls,
those.
it was like the little houses and stuff.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was all the different little animals.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the girls had all that. My Little Pony was another big one. So
Yeah.
crazy.
My
crazy
nephews were into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Turtles, yeah.
Oh gosh, they would like have the costumes on. This was before I had kids, so I'm very close to my older nephews, and they would spend time with me, and they'd have their little ninja costumes on and be fighting, and whatever. So fun. That's fun. Yeah, I have an older niece now, and she has two younger girls, and they're like 10 and 11. So I'm trying to spend time with them this holiday season so that we can start making some fun memories, and so I think it's just fun to know. Like I took them out last week, and my daughter was with me, and we were kind of asking them, well, what do you guys listen to for music, and what kind of things do you like to like? They just got phones.
Oh wow.
But again, they have to go to school and all that kind of stuff. So but they're like, oh, we like Taylor Swift, So that was one thing that they liked, and they really didn't say anything about like toys or anything like that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get to learn some of the stuff that's going on with the younger generation now.
I know. I feel so detached from that now because my kids are grown, and it's funny. I think about my mother, how she never, wanted, when Facebook first came out, she didn't want to know any of that. She did not want to learn, and she would say, well, if your daddy has something to show me, he'll call me in here and I'll look at it. And she'd go about her way. And I'm like, the older you get, it's harder to stay in touch with all of that stuff. There's just so much happening, and everything changes so quickly. It's like, what is in that generation? What do they talk about? What do they like? It's just all over the place. So have a couple with money. So take a guess on Black Friday. How much do you think consumers spent online?
Ooh.
U.S. consumers.
U.S. consumer. $4 billion.
$10.8 billion
gosh.
online, and that reflected a 10.2 increase from 2023.
Wow. I wonder, because we've had a few episodes about different things happening in the world, and financially, some it's gotten a little tougher the last year or two, for whatever reason, and so I'm just kind of wondering how the holiday season is going to be. People have been complaining so much about food prices going up. So are you going to spend the money you have on food, or and just limit those presents, kind of thing? Or are you going to just kind of have a smaller meal and then be able to spend? So I'm sure it's very hard for, all of us. I know I've been going to the grocery store a couple times. I just went today again to make sure we did a Thanksgiving stuff, and it just starts to add up.
Right.
And, here's just a little bitch because it is very expensive. But I asked my husband, I said, hey, because I do Thanksgiving and I do Christmas, which it's my choice. It's our choice, But I said, hey, what do you think of having like a taco bar for Christmas instead of like the whole turkey and ham and all that stuff again, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So you get a taco fajita bar, whatever, and you just get some meats and some fixings, and then everybody can have their little own tacos. You know,
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of fun.
We do. My mom would just do chili Christmas Eve,
Yeah,
and it would just be.
I got some family members don't like chili.
Yeah, we would do chili and then just have like a vegetable tray, and then we always had dessert. And it's so funny. My mom was so sneaky with, where I thought she was making homemade stuff. And come to find out, she would, of course, just get the, meat, and she'd do pinto beans, but it was the McCormick chili mixed in a package.
Oh.
And here I thought, she's stirring it up, but I thought it was homemade. And so, of course, it's like, I think about it, it's like, oh, it always tasted so good. And so now that my mom's gone, just every Christmas Eve, that's just what we do is chili, and then we just snack on a lot of stuff. So that's been a thing like that. I think other people have done like enchiladas or something.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that do different things. You know,
I'm gonna talk to the fam and see if if that's cool with everybody.
Yeah,
so I don't have to.
fun.
I don't have to go crazy with it.
Yeah. So, U.S. consumers spent $2.8 billion, but globally, it reached a record of $74.4 billion in just 24 hours.
And so that's spending on like presents, Christmas?
Online, just
Online.
online shopping.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
on Black Friday.
Wow.
So it could be, I'm sure it's presents.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
I
But
got you,
still,
yeah.
that is
That's a
insane.
lot.
So it'll be interesting this time next year to go look and see what those statistics are.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, everything's so much more expensive. So if people are doing more food versus presents, how much did those numbers change?
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to come back and look and see.
Yeah, so one thing I thought we would offer to our viewers and our listeners is a little challenge. And I got to thinking while my daughter was in town and she was talking about that angel tree. I thought, how about we do an angel tree together?
Okay.
And we ask our audience, our viewers, our listeners, challenge them to also get a little angel from an angel tree this holiday season. And again, doesn't have to be expensive,
Right.
It could be just honestly, sometimes you can even go to the dollar store.
Right.
They have tons of toys there. And for Christmas, they even put more toys out.
Right.
Or, a little stocking of candy or whatever it is. But I thought maybe let's do something together, and then we're going to ask all you guys to go out and get an angel from an angel tree. They usually have them at the malls if you go
Yeah.
there. Where else do they have them at?
Now, I know they also do elderly
Oh,
angel
yeah,
trees.
yeah.
We did that once, and so it was like all they asked for was like a pair of overalls and socks.
Yeah.
So it's like those people are in the nursing homes and things. It's like
Yeah, for
who
sure.
knows where their family is. I
Right.
mean, they may not have any family. They may have all passed or whatever, and that's where they're at. And it's like they don't need a fancy gadget.
don't.
They just need clean socks or
Right, right.
something. And they just don't have the money. So I got a lot of, something out of that just because they were so thankful.
Yeah.
And it's, of course, all anonymous. They don't know, but you hear
Yeah.
about how thankful they are.
There was one year, some of my friends that live out in Dallas, we went to a nursing home and we had to bring socks and blankets. And so you bring your socks, you bring your blankets, and you can go to Walmart. The blankets are $5, the socks could be
Yeah.
99 cents,
Yeah.
whatever. But you just bring them, and then you go to the nursing home, and you get to like pass them out, or you get to say, "Hey, which one would you
Yeah.
like?" So you actually get to see them. They get a visitor, which is nice. Again, we were talking before. Time is what people really love.
Oh, right.
Your time with somebody, and it doesn't have to be very expensive. But that's another idea: going to a nursing home, or if you're a good cook or a good baker, firemen.
Oh, yeah.
Police officers. My mom used to my mom was a great cook and a great baker and all. So she used to make these things called empanadas, which it's a little puffy pastry kind of thing that's full of like meat and potatoes and stuff, and they were friggin' amazing. And so she used to make a bunch of those and take them to the fire station, to the police station in her local city. And you know, she loved to do stuff like that. And she always went to like because again, my mom was like the Energizer Bunny, you know, but she would go to the, what do they call those, the senior citizen centers. She used to hang out there. She had made a bunch of friends there, but sometimes she would drive people different places because they couldn't get to where they needed to go. And, you know, people she knew there, but she put her time in, you know, to help somebody. And so when she passed away, my sister and I went to the nursing home because, like, every year they do like a memorial for whoever was living there or coming there. And so my mom was going to be included in that. And it was so sweet. Like, so many people came up and said all these really sweet things about her and what she did for everybody. And it was really touching. It was really nice that, you know, she left her little imprint on everybody in such a good way. So I'm always grateful for that. But it also makes you think about, like, what can you do, you know? So.
Well, and I'm sure they remember just the time she spent more than if she got them anything or food or anything. It was like, oh, she spent and talked to me and whatever it was, or she took me here. Yeah. That's the stuff people remember. It's not what you buy. All of it's just stuff in the end. Yeah. And it's like people remember the time, you know?
Oh, and if you have kids, it's such a great thing to show your kids the selflessness of and the compassion of helping other people during this time. When my kids were younger, we did several things. We used to take them to, like, you know, the centers, the homeless shelters, you know, where you go in and you give people food and stuff like that. We did that once or twice. And then there was another shelter locally here that it was kind of crazy because, you know, we spoil our kids. We work really hard and we spoiled our kids, we'll admit it. But I wanted them to understand that you are spoiled and not everybody gets those same opportunities. So I took them to this center and we handed out bicycles to underprivileged children. And so they had this big, huge warehouse, and they give you a list of, you know, families, and so there could be 2, 3, 4 kids in that family. So my kids would go pick up whatever bike. Some of them are new, some of them were donated, you know, that are maybe a little used. But then they got to pick them, and then we put them in the car, and then we drive to the kids' house, and just to see their face, because sometimes that's the only gift they're going to get for the holidays. And so my kids were like, really? They're only going to get this? I said, they might not be able to afford it, you know? So it was kind of cool to have that experience with my children. And we used to go back pretty much every year, either to help pack things or, you know, they had a lot of clothes, you had to separate clothes, whatever, you know, just help, you know. But if you do have kids and, you know, you want to kind of show them something like that, that's a great thing to do. So we're going to challenge everybody to kind of go out and do something good for your community, and we will do our parts. We will find a little angel tree, or we will find something, and we'll maybe closer to Christmas, we'll talk about it.
I've been on both sides of the angel tree. So when my oldest was in middle school and she was in cheer, they had found a family. It was a mom. She had 4 children.
Sorry.
I know my story.
I'm sorry, 4 children. I was getting so thirsty. 4 children.
Yeah, and she was a single mom, and she was poor, and they weren't going to be able to have a Christmas.
Oh.
And so we, you know, they needed clothes. They needed all kinds of stuff. So we got together, had everything, and then we went over to their house and took all the stuff, and just the eyes, the way the kids' eyes lit up. Yeah. It's like, okay, my Christmas, I don't need to do anything else. This was a present, seeing their reaction and how happy they are. And, you know, but when you're seeing children that are that poor, so they're never going to forget that generosity. And hopefully as they get older, then they're going to pay it forward with somebody else, right? So we had that experience. So that was pretty moving. And then I haven't talked about my second husband. That's a multi-podcast episode, you know. But at the time when that ended, I would, again, being a single mom, and my girls were like I don't know, maybe 5 and 3. And we weren't going to have a Christmas. So at the church that my mom and dad went to, all the, I don't want to say the elder Sunday school classes, retired people, whatever, they had different families they would take in to do the angel tree for. So my mom asked if I wanted to turn in stuff that we wanted. And it took a minute to say yes, because it's like, I didn't want anybody to help, right? There's a lot of pride. It's like, okay, I can't take care of my kids. It's a mental thing, right?
Yeah.
So they had different categories, and so I just wrote down like 3 options of things, right? Because I wasn't putting 3 different things of whatever it was, because I expected 3 things. I'm like, okay, they passed out, whatever. Well, we went and picked up the stuff from the church, and it was everything on the list and more.
Plus,
so nice. Like 8 to 10 bags of groceries,
that's
a
really
turkey,
nice.
And I was floored. So here we had nothing under the tree to one of those where you just kind of see it in pictures where they're stacked this tall and they go way, 10 foot out from the tree.
That's so
It
nice.
was the craziest thing. And so one thing to show those people how appreciative we were, it was back in the day where you take the pictures on your camera and then you go get the film developed. So I took pictures of my girls opening all the presents up, and they even got stuff for me. I was like, why'd you get stuff for me? Take care of my kids. Took pictures, put them in a little photo album, and had my mom take that back to the Sunday school class so they could feel like they were part of our Christmas, and wrote them a nice letter about, we weren't expecting this much generosity. And so I've never forgotten that. They didn't know us. It was a different Sunday school class than my mom and dad were in. So they didn't know us.
Right.
But they went out of their way, and they were all retired senior citizens. And here they were spending whatever money they had to so that we could have a great Christmas.
That's so nice.
And so I've been on both sides of it to understand what that means, and then also to see somebody else's face that gets blessed with, generosity like that. So it's a really neat thing to see and, be a part of, and know you're making a little bit of a difference in somebody's life. So,
and I think, the temperature of society today, we're having, really some difficulties. We're just, it feels like we're so divided in so many different ways, and maybe that's a good thing to be able to come together a little bit, and help your neighbor out, and maybe your neighbor can help you too,
Well, and it's like nobody puts on the angel tree what your political affiliation or your religious beliefs or your sexual orientation, right? It has nothing to do with that. You're seeing people as human beings, and everybody needs help every once in a while, and so it takes all of that away. And a different level, and with someone that you would never meet or see or whatever, it's just a different way, and it takes all the garbage out of it. So I think it's a beautiful thing to do.
So our bitchin' and wasn't too much about, it's just basically things are expensive right now, and everybody knows that, and crazy things online that you buy that might not work so well, but but then I think the pro to that is there are a lot of good things that you get online that's so convenient. We talked about the turkey thing. You remember I was making a mini Thanksgiving, and they got my order wrong. So I was just like, then I had to go to the store and get it. So I was like, all right, whatever. So that can happen. You can get the wrong thing. My husband just ordered a book. And it was a pretty expensive book. It was like $50 or $60. It's a technical book. And he goes, oh, my book came in today. And he opens it up, and there was 2 of them. And he's like, oh, oops, I think I ordered 2. And he's like, I got to return it. You better be able to return that.
Yeah, watch that quantity count on what you're ordering,
for
too.
Sure.
It's like, I didn't want 8.
Yeah, watch the quantity count. Watch the discounts. Make sure you're double checking the fine print.
Yes, the fine print. Yeah.
I did see something on the news today. There was a couple that has like auto body or auto shop in our area here, and they decided to help their community with cars. So if they got cars donated, they would fix them up, and then somebody who was in need of one. And so they had this young mother, single mom, who was trying to take care of her child and walking to work, a mile or whatever. And, she just couldn't afford a car or anything like that. So they fixed one up for her and they gave it to her. They surprised her and they gave it to her. And it was like, she was just a bawling. I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And they're like, we wanted to give one a year, but like, why can't we do one a month? And it made me think of like Oprah, you get a car, you get a car. But it was very nice. I think just how grateful she was for it and how much it affected her life. I think they were really going to start doing more of them, which that's the whole point of it.
Right.
Once you start doing it, then maybe others around you will do the same thing,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Alrighty. So, how about moaning? You have anything you want to moan about? I have something that's just really stupid.
You go first.
Okay. So, I actually did this yesterday. And it was a moan in pain. So, and I'm sure everybody can relate to these kind of moans because they're very guttural. I like to say the word guttural moans. But I was going through the house and I was cleaning, and my bed has, big footboard with the post, and it's a rustic bed, and it's huge. The frame is big. So I come flying out of the bathroom, my mind's somewhere else, and I caught my foot, like your pinky toe, my right one, to where, to where I ran it right into the corner, and I just went, like I was going to get sick or something, and I literally felt like I was going to pass out.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, and so my husband comes running out like, what is happening? And I'm like, I hurt my foot. Oh God, I'm gonna be sick, And I'm like, oh, I hope that's not broken. Well, I got a shoe on today, so it wasn't. But it was just throbbing and burning.
Oh my God.
So I was moaning in pain because how many times have I come around the corner of the bed and you're fine, and that one time you're preoccupied? I've run into the edge of a coffee table with my knee or something.
I do that.
Oh, that makes you fall
clumsy.
down.
Yeah,
very clumsy. So my moan today is more one in pain.
Yeah.
And so when I went to bed last night, I couldn't bend my toes back and forth.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like it was hurting on the top, hurting on the bottom. I'm like, okay, something is not well there, but hopefully it's just a bruise.
Yeah, when you break your toes, there's nothing they can do. I've busted up here and there, but my mom always, because she always was just going so fast, she'd run into things. I'm like, gotta slow down, I guess I do have a moan. I just keep thinking about this person. I should have got his name right. I think it's Ray, but I don't know. Okay, here it is. If you watch Special Forces, training, whatever.
Now I'm gonna have to
World's Toughest Training. It's on I think it's on Hulu or something, but this is probably the third season of it, and it is these 4 men who are military, tactical, whatever, soldiers, and they bring all these celebrities
I've
on.
seen that commercial for that. I know what you're talking
right?
about. Yeah.
And they take them out to friggin' Africa or Morocco or wherever, and they have to go through this crazy vigorous training, and it's hardcore. It scared the crap out of me on some of those things that they had to do. But so they take 15 or whatever people out there, and some people get hurt, some people I can't do this because it's just excruciating pain or just whatever, and then they do the mental problems, whatever. So the whole point is whoever gets to the end of the 10 days that they're there in this excruciating heat, pain, whatever, then they ask them if they want to be on their team,
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of fun. I mean, not for real, but there be you can go to war with us, know. But all these guys have been in the military a really long time, and they're hardcore, and they're all buff, and they've been captured before, and they've just been all sorts of cool things. So there's one on there, and he is so friggin' hot. He's so cute. And I mean, I actually started following him on Instagram the other day because I was just like, why not? But the season finale was on this week, and so my husband and I watch it together, and they can all be really mean and scary, but that's the whole point, because they want to toughen them up, because it's the world's toughest training, right? But there's just one. He's just got this really dark jet black hair and black goatee, and he's just all buff, and he probably is in his 50s maybe,
Yeah.
but boy, he looks so good. And then when I saw him on Instagram, he was like shirtless doing workouts. I'm
Oh
like,
God, of course he is.
so freaking hot. I know, it's just you can have little hot people
Yeah.
that you like, but I think his name is Ray, I don't
Yeah.
know, but he is so freaking hot. And
Well, I do have to say, because Emily was here on our last podcast, and she was talking about Glenn Powell. I actually had a dream about him, and now that I see him, in different things, I'm like, yeah, he is pretty freaking hot. And I'm like, okay, now I got Glenn Powell in the brain, and I can't not think about him. He's just a very beautiful man.
I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about, I think it was when they had said Tom Cruise got an Academy Award or something recently, or was, whatever, an honorary award. And they were asking him about, like, how was it to work with him on the second Top Gun. And he's like, well, I actually wanted the role of the son.
Oh, Goose's son.
Goose's son. Yeah, he went and did that, and he didn't get it. So he was like, oh my God, that sucks, because that's what he really wanted. And then a couple of days later, Tom Cruise called him, and he said, where do you want your career to go? And he's like, I want to be like you. He goes, then take this other part.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And
he
look,
was perfect for it.
He was perfect for it.
Oh, my
and,
gosh.
And look, also Val Kilmer, because Val
Yes.
Kilmer was kind of like that part, and look at how successful he was.
Yeah.
So he's like, that was like the best advice to get, and he's like, I'll always be grateful for that. So he was part of Top Gun, but
Right.
then look at, he went on to, and he's continuing to do
Yep.
so much stuff. And he is here in Texas. Him and Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, they are all bringing film and music and everything to Austin and to, Texas, just like Taylor Sheridan, so it's really kind of exciting time for Texans to
Yep.
see all these movies in action. So
Yep.
like Glenn Powell, yeah. But Ray, go look at Ray. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll put a picture of him up here. He's pretty hot. Ray. I was thinking about him. Anyways, so that's our bitchin' and moanin' for today. It's a little light one.
Yeah.
And we hope you guys had a good Black Friday and you didn't spend too much money.
Yeah.
And don't forget about our challenge, the Angel Tree, or again, something for your community. And we will bring you up to date on ours when we do it closer to Christmas.
Yeah, so keep watching. If you haven't seen, we started posting some things about what we do in our free time.
Yeah.
Little clips of stuff. So be sure to check that out if you haven't seen it. And
Yeah.
give us some feedback. We might ask you some questions. So
Yeah.
check all that stuff out too.
All right.
All
Well,
righty.
we'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, bye.